I still remember that night. The kind of memory that doesn't fade, no matter how hard you try. I was leaning against the kitchen counter, glass of bourbon in hand, scrolling aimlessly through my phone when I felt it, an itch of unease. I couldn't place it. Nothing had happened, not yet. It started at the dinner party. Sarah, my wife, had insisted on bringing me along to her colleagues' annual gathering. I should have known something was off the moment we arrived. She looked stunning, dressed in that deep emerald dress I loved, her hair loose over her shoulders. She smiled, laughed, and for a moment, I felt that familiar warmth, that this is us feeling. And then I noticed him, James, her colleague. I barely knew him, but there was something in the way she laughed at his jokes. Too close, too intimate, leaning in with that warmth she usually reserved for me. My chest tightened. I told myself I was imagining it, that maybe I was overreacting. Maybe it was just the dim lighting and the wine. I didn't say anything. I sipped my drink and tried to force a laugh at the right moments. But every time I glanced at them, something inside me twisted. Her hand brushed his arm once, light, innocent probably, but it burned like fire against my skin. My stomach churned. The next few days were quiet, almost normal, but normal was fragile. It started small. Missed calls from her when I knew she was home, messages that disappeared too quickly when I picked up my phone, subtle changes in her schedule. Nothing concrete, nothing I could pin down, but enough to make me question myself. Maybe I was paranoid. Maybe I was reading too much into it. And yet, the feeling persisted. I caught her staring at her phone, a tight smile playing on her lips, then quickly swiping away when I walked past. I noticed her texting late at night, the screen angled so I couldn't see it. My mind spun in circles. It's nothing. Maybe work. Maybe friends. But my gut screamed otherwise. The breaking point came 2 weeks later. I was at the office, trying to focus, when my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. My heart sank before I even read it. Can't wait to see you again tonight. Don't tell him. I froze. My hands went cold. My vision tunneled. I confronted her that night. My voice trembled, half disbelief, half anger. Sarah, who is James? Her eyes widened, and for a brief second, I saw something, guilt, panic, and then resignation. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered. Her voice was fragile, almost pleading. I wanted to hate her, to scream, to break something. But all I could feel was this hollow ache, the slow realization that the life I thought I was unraveling. She explained, stumbling over her words. Loneliness, attention, a moment that shouldn't have led to another, and then another. I listened, numb, each word stabbing me sharper than the last. For nights, I replayed our life together. Every laugh, every shared secret, every tender touch. It all felt like a lie now. I remembered her smile that night at the dinner party, the way her hand lingered on his arm, the quiet whispers I pretended not to notice. Memories that once made me feel safe now cut deep, and yet there was still love there. I could feel it, tangled with betrayal, impossible to ignore. That's the cruelest part of heartbreak. The part where you still want them, even when they've broken the world you built together. I had to make a choice. Forgive and pretend, or protect myself. I couldn't unsee, couldn't unfeel. I couldn't be the man who stayed in a house full of shadows and half-truths. We didn't yell. There was no dramatic confrontation. Just a quiet, trembling conversation in the dim light of our bedroom. She cried, I cried. She apologized, I listened. And finally, I said the words that felt like they would tear me apart. We're done. I can't stay. Not like this. Walking away was the hardest thing I've ever done. Leaving the life we'd built behind, the inside jokes, the small rituals, the shared dreams, it hurt more than I thought possible. But there was relief, too. Relief in knowing I hadn't lost myself entirely. Relief in knowing I still had a chance to rebuild, to find honesty, to find someone, or even just myself, without the shadow of betrayal hanging over me. I'll never forget the dinner party. That laugh, that touch, that moment when everything changed. But I've learned something about myself through the heartbreak. The strength to walk away, the courage to trust my instincts, and the clarity to know that love isn't just about wanting someone. It's about being wanted fully without secrets. And in that quiet knowledge, in the aftermath of heartbreak, I found a strange kind of peace.